What's up guys, Z here, and today we're going to be talking about the Pentium Pro processor, 180 megahertz, 256K cache with a fan and heatsink. Still got the cellophane on it, see? Ooh. Nah, we ain't talking about that. That's in the background of all my videos. I don't know, I just grabbed it off the shelf, thought I would start a little differently. But anyways, we are talking about the progress with my Season 9 Hardcore Demon Hunter. And as you can see, the skills are as follow. We got Grenade with Cluster Grenades, Impale with Grievous Wounds, Shadow Power. That one's up all the time, but I have it on Gloom, and it uses all the runes. I got Companion with War Companion for survivability. I have Chakma Shuriken Cloud. That one's up in the air for me. Fan and Knives with Pinpoint Accuracy for that mass damage. Ambush for damage on new enemies. Grenadier for the grenades. Awareness for cheat death. And Perfectionist for more survivability. So when you get into my gear, I'm using Shadow's Mantle because that is Hadric's gift for my season, for my Demon Hunter. I'm also using a Hellfire Amulet from the Leech passive, so I have my 5th passive. I have the Hellcat Waistguard. I'm trying to get to level 70, but it's great for my grenades. You can see I have Raps of Clarity for the damage reduction when I use the grenades. Lord Greenstone's Fan for that Fan of Knives, massive damage boost. And I have the 9th Serial Satchel. It's just there in a place right now as my quiver. It's not really like a best in slot or anything, it's just there. I've been slowly progressing with this character because I don't want to take it too far too fast and lose it. I'm actually really thoroughly enjoying this class. I haven't played a Demon Hunter Hardcore yet, and Demon Hunter is my favorite overall class in the game. I'm still using the grenades, as you can see. What I'm doing is kind of like, this time I kind of went for my own build. I don't want to call it my own build, but usually I'll kind of like pick something that I really want to try out. Like with the Monk last season, I did a ton of different builds, but I only really enjoyed a couple of them. It's not like I liked every single playstyle. I liked Inna's Mantra for all the Mystic Allies. I actually wanted to try Lashing Tail Kick, but my point is usually you go online and everybody does it. They search like, oh, what's the best build and all that stuff. And then you kind of pick a build that you enjoy or you think you'll like, and you get some gear that surrounds that, and maybe you kind of like tweak a couple things, but you generally pick whatever's been successful on the leaderboards. So this time, I didn't look up anything to do with this build. I just was like, you know what, I'm going to do hardcore from the beginning on this season. I'm going to give it a shot. I have a softcore character too that I play with my friends, but this one is kind of when I play with Audio Blood. As I've mentioned in previous videos, he helps me with the hardcore stuff. And I just like the extra challenge that comes with hardcore. Like, you can't just go in and go balls to the wall, hardcore on, you know, pushing greater rifts, super difficult right off the bat. You have to build yourself up. You have to be mindful of not dying. And in turn, it's actually just a really good challenge. And another cool thing about Season 9 and 2.4.3 is when you complete greater rifts, if you don't die, you get an extra free roll. Now, I'm also picking different legendary gems than I would normally because I want to survive. So I have the Wildebeest Gizzard thing that gives me a whole bunch of life per second, and it will give me a shield also at rank 25. I am using Bane of the Powerful at the moment. I don't think I'm going to keep that one, but it's on there. It's very low level. And I'm also using the Gem of Efficacious Toxin. Now, I'm not like set in stone on any of these gems right now. I don't have a lot because I haven't done a lot of greater rifts so far with this character. But the reason I'm picking the Gem of Efficacious Toxin right this minute is because my grenades hit a whole bunch of people. And what it does is if I tag anybody, it'll poison them. And it poisons them for a decent amount of damage. It's not anything astronomical, but it's definitely good for stragglers who are low health. And when I hit the rank 25 ability, where all enemies you poison take 10% increased damage from all sources and deal 10% less damage, that will in turn create a damage buff for me, and everything I'm hitting gets an extra 10% damage from everything. And I get a damage mitigation buff on myself because they're dealing less damage to me. So that's why I went with that. I'm kind of going with things that help me survive, but also help me, like, in a slight way, get more damage out there so I can eliminate threats more efficiently. So Bane of the Powerful is in there right now, like I was saying. I might switch it out for something else. Not really sure right now. But anyways, let me talk about this build real quick. I told you the skills, I showed you the gear. But, so, for slot 1, Shadow Power. That's up all the time with all the runes. So that means I'm getting damage reduction, I'm getting speed increase. I also get like a lot of life on hit from it. In the second slot, instead of taking the Wolf Companion for that damage buff, I took the Boar because it increases your life per second, and also it increases your resistances. And it can taunt people when I activate the skill. So it is really good at making sure I don't die. So I like that. For the third slot, this is my most swapped around skill so far. I don't know what I want to put there. I probably will end up putting a Vault skill there so I can escape dying. But for right now, it's just the Chakram skill where it has a shield around you for 10 minutes and it deals weapon damage to everybody that is near you. And this also procs my efficacious poisoning legendary gem. But the reason I have it on for right now is because the enemies don't pose that much of a threat to me on Torment 6 and 7, where they can kill me super quick. So what it does is when they swarm me, because I'm enjoying the new monster density, by the way, but when there's a whole bunch of enemies and they're all over you, I'm throwing grenades, they're getting hit by the poison, they're getting hit by the chakrams. I mean, they're getting a ton of damage. And then if there's too many, I can do my fourth slot skill, which is actually one of the most damaging skills I have. That's the Fan of Knives. And the Fan of Knives, I have it boosted for the 1600 damage with a little bit longer cooldown, but that's okay because with my dagger, it rolls every 1 second. I get another stack of increased damage on my Fan of Knives. And as you can see, most of the time it's at 30, and usually I save it for when I come in contact with either a huge mob or a bunch of elites, because it'll kill all the elites in one shot. So you can see that I built this definitely around a lot of AoE. However, being that it's Shadow's Mantle, it comes with that Impale damage buff, that 40,000 weapon damage. I mean, it's like a lot. So I have the dagger set for when it crits, it does extra damage on top of its normal damage. And you can see me take out big units in one shot with the Impale periodically throughout the video that's playing behind me. And that's what it's for. If I see elite stragglers, I can just pop an Impale at them and it kills them in one shot. Unless they're like extremely powerful, they go down in one hit. At least at Torment 6 and 7. Now, Rift Guardians, I usually will hit them with a Fan of Knives, and it will take them usually 2/3 down, and then I throw an Impale and they're down. I mean, 2 shots on a Rift Guardian is pretty impressive. I know, like I said, it's not like Torment 13, and it's not like Greater Rift, you know, 75, 80 that I'm pushing. But I mean, this character's Paragon is only like 100, and her gear is not that good yet. So, bear with me. We'll get there, but not right this second. But still, I'm impressed with this build. I've never done the Shadow's Mantle before, and I've never done grenades. So I'm taking 2 things that I've never done before. I tried to marry them together with the new Hellcat Waistband, which has been fantastic, by the way. I really, really enjoy throwing the cluster grenades, and then they just start bouncing all over the place, and it just can take out a huge mob, like no problem. But that's one of the fun things about this game. I really like how every time there's a little bit of an update, they kind of tweak a couple builds, and then you kind of have to revisit them or try them for the first time if you haven't. And then they're just a little bit different, but it's interesting because it's not the same all the time. I really, really enjoy that. This was a fun build, even though I'm an unhallowed essence guy till the day I die on this Demon Hunter build. It still is super fun. And actually, my long-term goal for this character is to probably do Marauder's build, because they buffed it with the sentries increasing your damage by 800% per sentry, and you can get up to 5 sentries, so that's 4,000% increased damage. And they also will shoot off the same skills you are using. I could use the UE build skill-wise and just throwing in the sentries and the custom engineering and all that, and then I'll have 5 sentries shooting multi-shot with me, and we're dealing massive, massive damage. So I'm definitely excited to see how that goes. How are you guys enjoying 2.4.3? I think it's fantastic. I really like the extra roll on the greater rifts. I really like the monster density. I really like the randomness of the rifts. I like the new items and how they're playing out. I haven't gotten all of them, but it's not too bad. The ones I've gotten are pretty cool. I really like the Darkening of Tristram event. I don't think it was overly difficult. I figured like anybody can pick it up and get most of the achievements, no problem. If you need help getting the achievements, you can see my last video that I'll post at the end of this one. As always, guys, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Later.